called the duodenum. As part of the alimentary canal, it consists mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa, and outside at this area here we have the serosa. The most important diagnostic feature of the duodenum, the area here, the area of the submucosa, we have a gland, we call it the submucosal gland or the Brunner's gland. This gland is responsible for secretion of the alkaline secretion, which is responsible for neutralization of the acidic chyme, the product of the stomach. Okay, you can see here the finger-like projection. All of these structures are the villi. These villi, or the singular, is the villus. At the core or at the center, we have the lamina propria, and at the area here, we have the muscularis mucosa. These three layers together, they form the area of the mucosa. So if we increase the magnification, this is the finger-like projection with the epithelium and goblet cell, lamina propria and muscularis mucosa. So if we increase the magnification, this is the area of the epithelium, and you can see here at the middle, the area of the lamina propria, loose connective tissue, very cellular, highly vascularized, and the area here we have the muscularis mucosa. All these white cells are cells. As I said, in this area here we have the area of the submucosa. We have the Brunner's gland, which is the submucosal gland, which is responsible for the secretion of the alkaline secretion. As we can see here, there's a duct for this gland to open at the surface of these epithelial cells. All of these are mucus producing cells. At this area here, we have the muscularis externa. We have two layers, inner circular and outer longitudinal. And here we have very important structure, which is the myenteric plexus or the Auerbach's plexus. This is motor ganglia, which is responsible for the contraction of these two layers of the smooth muscles. Outside here, we can see the area of the serosa, the simple squamous epithelium, all of these cells with very thin layer of a connective tissue. As you can see here, we have the area of the myenteric plexus just between the two layers, the inner circular and the outer longitudinal. Again, this is the two layers. As you can see here, all of this structure here is part of the motor ganglia, which is responsible for the control of the contraction of these two layers. It's the area of the epithelium. As I said, these are finger-like projection, and we can see here the epithelial cells, the simple columnar with the goblet cell. And here we can see another important modification at the surface or the apical portion of these epithelial cells, which is the microvilli. The other name is the brush border or the striated border. Only these microvilli, we can see it in the simple columnar cells, the anterior side, whereas the goblet cells, there is no microvilli. These microvilli are responsible for absorption. These are the simple columnar. The other name for them is the enterocyte. Here, the area of the lamina propria, loose connective, very cellular, highly vascularized, almost extend to the level the muscularis mucosa. You can see here the area of the muscularis mucosa. Usually at the bottom here we can find the area of the fundus. We can see the enteroendocrine cells and the Paneth cells here at this area here. Paneth cell, which is only found in the small intestine, is responsible for production antibacterial antiparasitic agent which help in the protection of the small intestine. Whereas the enteroendocrine, as I said, there is more than 20 types of these enteroendocrine cells. Their secretion will be released in the area lamina propria, will be uptaken by the blood to distant organ where they are responsible for inhibition or stimulation of the digestion process.